Hi Capricorns, if you want to come on in, have a seat for some symbolic support. Here's your ink blot we did earlier in October, and I know I went on, but we have flipped it for perspective possibilities.
I don't know.
We'll add on tarot and oracle, and as well we have the ghost tube here kicking for any audio additions that may inspire or irritate, receive or release freely, of course. So thank you for being here. You know the drill. I'm going to take a moment. You're welcome to join me or fast forward. Closing the eyes, cleansing the palate of perception, releasing the race and the rush, activating the abstract mind and ancient awareness to perceive and receive symbolic support. Capricorn Collective. Wonderful Capricorns, how are you feeling? My left ear was a little funny. I don't know if you like hearing a buzzing in the left ear or like a high-pitched sound or anything along that lines. Just something noticing there. I also have a smudge going, so if you see any smoke, it's all good. Feel free to take it in. There was something else I wanted to say. I'm sure it'll come through. Okay. Capricorns, thank you for being my muse, for holding space for me to share my insights and allowing me to be a guest in your aura. Our aura as well. Okay, there is I'm like
To your right.
I'm immediately drawn. Yes, it is to my right. Do you know in the show King of Queens, and at some point in time, is it Carrie's best friend, or I can't remember his name, Doug and Carrie's best friends, paint them a portrait, and she has like a really big arm, and I think he has like buck teeth. I'm seeing the really big arm. The really big arm. I feel as though
Scorpio.
I feel like I'm blocking something.
Keep going.
Okay, I can't see it because my eyes are almost covered. Almost covered. It's like something in full view isn't quite there yet, but I feel like it's not a bracing or a block like I'm holding a block. I'm being the block. It's like I'm defending something I can't quite see yet that hasn't maybe come quite to fruition or something along that lines. But I feel like I want to defend it and I want to protect it. Even though I can't necessarily see the entirety of the outcome. There's something in my brain. There's something like in the... You know how like in the brain... Yes. Okay. So it goes in the brainstem all the way down to the root, right? Like through... Yes. And then there's also one that goes all the way up. Like it's like I have two brain stems connected to something. Some sort of source up here. It's drawing attention. Could be physical, or it could be from your spirit space where one feels at home. And it's drawing things in. Because I'm seeing it like, how do I express that? Give me a moment here, Capricorns.
Jean.
It's as though
Time.
I'm seeing something that sends out an invisible signal and attracts things in. But this is in I'm going to say the higher realms. And I'm only saying higher because in this space, it does go up. Versus within and without. This is above, so below versus within and without. Not versus competitively. This is just like the line. Like down the spine. There's two spinal cords. Well, it's kind of like one spinal cord. Okay, give me a moment. I know I'm kind of all over here because it's attracting something in through this one. And then it comes in here, does something. I can't quite see it yet, or I see some of it. Like, see how the eyes are like, you know, some people might feel overwhelmed right now. And it's like, you know, if you're floating, it's like you're just seeing above water type thing. It's like, but I'm also holding my breath a little bit. I kind of feel like I'm locked in on something. I'm seeing earring backings, but they're really, really big earrings. Earrings. Ear was ringing.
Where are we?
Left ear ringing. We are in the Capricorn aura, if you'd like to join us. Otherwise, you're here in Ontario. So welcome. And it's like one of those earring clasps that it's not
Give it back.
like a straight through with the backing. It's one of those claspy ones, and then it kind of like self clasps once it's in. All very obscure, Capricorns, but I'm digging it. Hopefully it makes sense, because it almost feels like once this is maybe heard or listened to, or the aha, it's digested, because I'm seeing a digestive system in like the pineal gland area, like in the brain. I'm digesting something in a different form, maybe that of the belly, but nonetheless it feels like a digestion.
How do I use it?
I don't know. I don't know. And it kind of is giving me Home Alone vibes. You know, the, oh my gosh, I've been left alone. It's almost like this weird feeling of when you graduate something, because I'm seeing a graduation with a tassel thing, and I don't know what actually that means when they turn the tassel. And now it's like, okay, go out and do that, be
Am I
that.
dead?
Yes. Or you're alive, just in a different density. Do you know what I'm saying? So now it's like, okay, go be the doctor, go be the social, service provider, go be whatever it is, technician. And it's like, what? No, it's like you've been studying for so long. You've been immersed in something for so long with promise and productivity. And now it's time to do it. Yeah, so maybe it's like I can't look. And like the Home Alone, oh my goodness, I've been left alone. Like I'm just left. It's not I'm left to my own devices, but kind of this is how it's feeling like from a spirit space is. But yes, so now go. Because you're not left alone, but you are left to the devices that you have been building and doing, cultivating. And they have promise because everyone
Fool.
believes in you. Fool's journey. You might feel foolish. You might, what is that? Again,
Friday.
It's like the threshold day. Yeah, it's the threshold day, Friday, right? What is that? When people say, I don't remember what the word is or the saying is, when you feel like you're not faking it. Oh my goodness, for heavens and hot dogs, what is that saying? If you remember, please feel free to comment below. Imposter syndrome. Thank you. And that could be like the ear ring. Okay, I'm going to keep going here, Capricorn. I feel very connected, and I'm following that spinal cord back up, and it's like all the voices in my head. And then maybe, come down to earth and all the voices here. And I kind of want to quiet this point. And when I go into that third eye space, or at least where there's like the wishbone, because I'm seeing it as a wishbone, but I'm also seeing it as a specific kind of triangle symbol. And it feels very wispy. It's not triangle. It's not a stiff triangle. This feels wispy. Like there's something in that. It's not quite. Our cul-de-sac circle, almost like a park, but anyway, I'm not even getting. Yeah, this is okay. All right, Capricorns. All right, I'm seeing a polar bear. The Fool. Okay, thank you. All right, let's dig in here. I got to flip all these. I will share them. Don't worry about the cards being upside down. Unless I'm called to keep them that way, I don't. So we have the Eight of Hazards and the Strength. Seven of Wands, Six of Swords, and the Fool. Like a fool, like a fool. You know the drill, Capricorns. If these mean anything to you, follow that first versus my yammerings. But I'm grateful. Thank you. Like, sharing, and subscribing. Okay, yeah, it's like I'm in my head. This head, like right in here. I'm in my head. Do you know in the movie... Oh,
I'm not sure how.
I'm telling you, my linear mind is just all over. That's okay. I think it's either Mars Attacks or... It might be Mars Attacks, maybe a Men in Black. But I think it's Sarah Jessica Parker. And she ends up becoming like a head on a spider, or maybe it's the guy. That's what it's making me feel like. I have mechanical spider, but I'm on top. In this Mars Attacks, something about maybe Martians. Right, and there's even like a bullet in the brain type thing where I have an idea. There's something. I'm defending or protecting.
Spirit animal.
There's a something in my... Okay, and there's all the people in my head. I don't know if they're actual people, maybe people's opinions. Am I seeking out their opinions? I feel like I'm trying to make a plan. Oh, I'm seeing birds of a feather flock together. Is that the saying? Birds of a feather flock together? And you're like, I don't know. It's like if somebody wants answers from you, or maybe you want answers. It's like, I don't know. Like, throw me a frickin' bone here. Austin Powers. I don't know. And then it like, throw me a frickin' bone. But I have the baton, Capricorn. Like, Capricorn energy, you have the baton. It's up to you now. There's a decision I feel like you've made, or you're going to make, or maybe you've made it. Maybe you're trying to decide. I'm not entirely sure. Someone's like, no. And you're like, but you gave me the baton. It was my choice. Did you assume I would make the choice based on, like there's some sort of disagreement of a decision, but it's not a disagreement. It's like somebody, either it's you or somebody else. And hopefully you can understand in this context. It's like, but you handed it to me. How can you be, what did you think the outcome was going to be? Like, it's like someone saying, well, paint this picture of a tree. And so you're like, okay, give me the baton, the wand, and I'm going to paint this tree. And they're like, and maybe they were expecting, a certain kind, like a realistic tree, but you went abstract, or you went surreal or nouveau. And they're like, this is not a tree. And you're like, but you asked me to present a tree. This is my expression of the tree. It's almost like somebody else's rules, possibly even your own in different contexts, are trying to imply an expectation without clearly communicating what is expected of me. Maybe this isn't a job. Maybe this isn't something. But it's like, this is not... If it wasn't discussed and there was like artistic freedom, if I may, and that's how I can resonate with it. If there's artistic freedom, it's like, oh, well, I was expecting it to be like this, or I really wanted it to be like this. And it's like, but I asked you up front. I clearly said, okay, you're handing, I'm up. It's my turn. I'm seeing Pictionary. And it's like, you don't get to, I don't want to say you don't get to tell me, but you don't get to tell me how the rules are agreed upon in Pictionary, but when the person gets up to play Pictionary and it's their position to win, lose, or draw, do you know what I'm saying? It's like in that weird essence. So this feels odd. But with the Six of Swords and the Fool,
Angel.
I feel as though like something comes in. Maybe this Martian thing, because even in, I really think it's Mars Attacks, the movie. This, the spider guy, and anyway, Sarah Jessica Parker and the other dude, I can't remember his name, they end up like falling in love. Like their circumstances of being, changed forms actually brings them together, and they find this. Maybe they're already together. I can't remember. It's not the point. But do you know what I'm saying? This rearranging. You've also cleared something up. See how in this card, like there's the body down there, right? And it's like, I can't believe you did that. Your aura feels as though our aura feels as though I've dealt with something, and the carcass of what's left over is for me. This is a very fun and creepy way that it's coming through, but I dig it, and it's me, and you're probably used to it by now. I'm with the remnants of what was. Maybe a decision I've made, the dreams, I'm defending what I want, clarifying what I want, whatever it is, right? I don't need to tell you, don't tell me, but And now I'm left with the carcass. And it's like I'm taking it into, underground of sorts within myself to, okay, so now is within the without. And I'm looking at it like in the morgue space, and an autopsy, an awareness autopsy. And I get to look at this remnants. This is when it becomes clearer. These gloves that I was talking about with the big elbows, do you know what they are now? Fantastic. Sorry if it's creepy, but they're like butcher gloves, like somebody in the kitchen. It's not meant to be, it's not coming through in a creepy way. It's coming through, and I'm in this position, and I'm going to look at this, and I'm going to autopsy myself of sorts, of my awareness, because whatever you are dead, done, and over with type thing, maybe it's a habit, maybe it's a way of being, a way of thinking, person, place, or thing. And it's like, I'm going to look at this, but somebody doesn't want you to look at this. Whether this is an aspect of yourself, but if I'm being very honest, I feel like it could be somebody outside of you that they've attached themselves to the cycle as well. Or it's not even like an attached, maybe it's just an understanding. It's like, but if you move on, then I'm forced to look at this on my own. And you're like, you know what, but I got to look at this. I'm going to look at this. And it kind of like feels like trauma bonding. Or, oh, we got together in this context, and now it's 5, 10 weeks, days, months, years later. Again, it's like different schoolings, different graduations, and you're graduating, and it's highly uncomfortable to be here. It's highly uncomfortable to be here because there's a body and there's a brain. There's a body and there's a brain. And as I'm autopsying the body, it's like the brain is sitting in some apothecary in, the embalming juice and the fluids. And I am getting to work by investigating internally to clear up. It's like to find out no, it's not the way I'm going to say that. What routes things took to follow the paths. I have a curiosity. I'm seeing the movie Sleepy Hollow. And in Sleepy Hollow, is it Johnny Depp? He's like, I can't remember his position. And maybe he's like the town mortuary or science doctor guy. And then he travels off. And it's like the things that he finds that are interesting. It's like you can't move the body, and they don't know that, or they're playing pretend, possibly. It's like people may not understand what it is that you want, but it's your turn. It's your turn. Okay. Sorry, did I? Oh, goodness. All right, Capricorns, I'm going to start to close out here so I don't haunt. Yeah, it's like people might be, I don't want to say people because I don't like to project it out, but other people might be players that are delivering things within us from without so we can receive it very clearly and look at it, even though we might be like, oh, okay. And it's not weird, wonderfully weird that it's coming through in this whole like not looking way, but then at the same time, I'm very much so looking at this autopsy of myself. And I've blatantly graduated from something because of it. I'm moving on. It all feels very uncomfortable, but at the same time, it feels like I have placed myself to be here because I'm receiving something or other from other seeds and sources that I'm connected to that isn't for everybody else. It's just not for everybody. If everyone had an interest in, rom-coms, and no other movies would be made. If everybody, was interested in horrors or thrillers, but not everyone likes those things. And that's why there's a multitude of different ways. And you're like finding it. You're finding me. The me in the Finding Nemo. I've never seen the movie, but nonetheless. So I have here Puka and Lemur, loneliness. And I can't remember what else is on there. But this is a goat. Will the lighting let it come through? Hopefully you can see it. It's a singing goat. Does it say mischief? It's not what I'm reading into. Somebody around you may feel left out, or Capricorns, it could be you. See, like that ghosty ghost back there? But I feel like this is prominent. It's giving me total power of 3 vibes. Some people are going to be left out. And it's not because... Okay, I'm going to stay in the energy. It's not... It's like somebody's going to be observing you from afar. And maybe they want to step forward. They want to step forward towards
33.
you. But you have a hula hoop here. I call it my safety hula hoop. Like if you're in a store or something and you're like, or at least this is what I grew up with, like always, keep an eye on your hula hoop of safety. And if anyone tries to like aggressively get into your hula hoop, you're like, whoa, whoa, whoa. You know what I mean? It's a hula hoop of safety. So it's like they want to approach you because you and possibly these 2 other people, either you're coming together and like you're singing in the rain. And somebody else wants to approach this group or this gathering, something that you're doing. It's almost like I'm seeing in this graduation of people in this supernatural school or college or mystery school. Maybe it's very blatant and you're like, no, I just finished this school or I finished this book. It doesn't have to be grand, and Capricorns know that. Anyway, it's like a few of you get together and then you're like, oh, let's open a clinic together. And somebody else is like, well, I'd like to join that clinic. But there's been experiences throughout like the 4 years or 5 years or... Okay, yeah. And you're like, well, maybe you can start by being, if you want to be a part of it, it's like, maybe you can start being in a different position. There's a grace period of some sort. Because the Capricorn collective is hungry to be of service. Hungry. But not... Okay, so I'm seeing the way... Sorry, I know I jumped over there. I'm seeing Monet. The way Monet painted. Again, where if you're like really up close, it's a big old blur. You gotta step back. You gotta step back to appreciate the lines that are there. The distinguishing features are there. Step back. Hula hoop. Step back a bit. And okay, so as soon as I said that, now I'm like a security guard, and somebody else, could be spirit, could be, again, your partner, another aspect of yourself. It's like, step back, Capricorn is coming. And now these people step in front of you, not in front of you, in your way. They actually are like guards from anyone that could be an idiot. If someone's trying to join your, your goat gang, like you're like, they're like, oh, but I have Capricorn a little bit over here. And you're like, I don't know. So now it's like security. It's like, oh, the hula hoop of safety, the step back. And I feel like you're kind of being prepared for, it's like, step back, Capricorn is coming. Okay. Maybe it's like a paparazzi. They're like, step back, step back. Because people are hungry for you. I don't know if it's your essence, what you're doing as you're starting this new beginning, because a part of you, thank you, that carcass was you. Maybe it's family karma. Maybe it's your parents. Maybe it's your best friend. I don't know. Maybe it's just another aspect of you. It's like, no, we can't let this part of us go. I can't believe you feasted on this. And you're like, I fully digested it.
Come here.
I fully digested that. And I'm going to make a wind chime out of the bones of this, because I'm hungry for more. I'm hungry for more. And I'm going to do this. And I'm going to listen. Notice here, like, the hands are crossed. And then this, too, the hands are like this. Something through you has passed through you. It's like the graduation feeling. But I feel like it's passed through me. And as soon as I did it, it's like passed through me. It's like my heart leads with it. And I'm not lonely. And if I'm having a feeling of lonely, I listen. Because there are other goats that are singing. Very, very pleasant. This is like all of that up there. I don't know if the card lets it come through, but there's all those sparks. And it's like I follow my spiritual spinal cord up. As above, so below. As within, so without. Somebody, if not the very other Capricorns in this collective, are celebrating what you have laid to rest. That is resting in peace. Because there's an honor and respect of that reward that you've done, the work that you've went through. And this isn't to justify rough and tough. This isn't to justify that. This is truly an admiration for your awareness of the autopsy. And now I'm seeing it like even as though maybe other Capricorns have shared this, like in that schooling space again, but I feel like it's a mystery school or metaphysical school or something along that lines. And like if a doctor or surgeons or something and they're doing something and all these people are watching, right? Because they're students of this. And it's like different Capricorns take that hot spot and they lead with whatever skills they have, and other Capricorns can observe to take it in. Not to copy necessarily, not to mimic, but to learn from the skill set and then apply it in their own way. I'm going to leave it here, Capricorns. I feel like that was very deep. And oh my goodness, I ramble on the most in our readings. Okay, until next time, please do like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you again soon.